Welcome to Travel Austria Quick Tips. Great trips! Today we are diving into a topic that honestly is the reason a lot of us travel in the first place. We aren't talking about hiking boots or museum passes today. We are talking about what's on the plate.
Which is, arguably the most essential part of any Austrian itinerary. Food is often the thing people dream about before they even book the flight. But when it comes to Austria, I think most people have a very specific, very golden fried image in their mind already.
Oh, absolutely. We have to address the elephant in the room immediately, or rather, the breaded cutlet in the room. We are talking about Schnitzel.
We have to start there. It is the gateway dish. If you are flying to Austria, you're likely already fantasizing about that plate. And honestly, laughs, you should be.
Right. We are not here to be food snobs and tell you to skip
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But let's unpack why it's so iconic, because to the untrained eye, it just looks like a piece of fried meat, but it's not that simple, is it?
No, not at all. It's actually a study in precision. When a schnitzel is done right, whether it's the traditional Wiener Schnitzel made with veal
Or the very common pork version.
or the pork version. Exactly. Yes, it is a sensory masterpiece. Yeah. You have this incredibly
Yeah?
thin cutlet, and the breading, well, it shouldn't be plastered onto the meat like a coat of paint. It should be airy.
Almost puffed up.
Yes, puffed up in places.
That's the key, right? That separation between the meat and the crust. I've heard it described as the soufflé effect.
Exactly. When you cut into it, you want to hear a crackle, has to arrive at the table hot, golden, and crisp, never soggy. And then there's that crucial final step, the lemon wedge. The squeeze is mandatory. You are dealing with fat, breadcrumbs,
The lemon wedge,
and
the
meat.
squeeze.
That hit of acid
Good.
just cuts through the richness. It makes the whole dish taste brighter, cleaner, and honestly, just more satisfying. It's simple, but it's technically difficult to get perfect.
So we are giving everyone full permission. Eat the schnitzel. Enjoy it.
Please do have it once, maybe twice. But here is where it gets really interesting and really what our mission is today. If you only eat schnitzel, you are missing out on about 90% of what makes Austrian cuisine so fascinating.
Right. We want to move beyond the gateway dish because looking at what makes up this cuisine, the variety is actually staggering. You've got hearty mountain food, elegant imperial dishes, and some surprisingly light options too.
Precisely. And we want to make that variety approachable. We want you to feel confident walking into a restaurant, picking up a menu that might be in German, and knowing exactly how to spot the gems.
We want to help you eat like a local, not just a visitor.
Exactly.
So before we start listing specific dishes, can we zoom out a bit? What is the why behind Austrian food? Why is the menu the way it is?
To understand the menu, you have to understand the history and the geography. There are really three big influences at play here. The first is the ghost of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Okay, let's unpack that. The empire covered a huge chunk of Central and Eastern Europe, right?
It did. It stretched from modern-day Austria all the way through Hungary, Czechia, parts of Italy, and the Balkans. And Vienna was like a magnet. All those cultures funneled their best dishes into the capital. That's why you see so many dumplings, rich stews like goulash, and complex pastries. It's a melting pot cuisine.
That makes sense. It feels very international, but in a kind of old world way.
Exactly. The second influence is regional variety. Austria isn't just one thing. The food you get in Vienna is totally different from what you'd eat in a mountain hut in Tyrol.
Which is different again from the lake regions or the wine country.
Right. And the third?
Seasonality.
Seasonality. This is something travelers often miss. The menus change drastically depending on when you visit. Spring brings wild greens and asparagus. Autumn is huge for game and pumpkins.
Winter is all about root vegetables and heavy comfort food.
You got it. So if you're there in summer, don't expect the exact same menu as a Christmas trip.
Right.
And that leads us to the golden rule of Austrian dining. Before you even order, you need to know what kind of building you are standing in.
I love this part. It's like decoding the sign above the door. What are the main categories we need to look out for?
There are three big ones you need to know. First, you have the Gasthaus. Think of this as a traditional inn.
Like a pub.
Sort of, but more focused on dining. It's usually family run, very relaxed, lots of wood paneling. This is where you go for hearty classics and seasonal dishes. It's the backbone of Austrian dining. If you want an authentic Sunday lunch, you go to a Gasthaus.
Okay, Gasthaus is the standard. What's next?
Then you have the Beisel. This is specific to Vienna. It's a bistro or a small pub. It's cozy, sometimes a little cramped, but in a charming way.
The charm of the city.
It is. It's where you go for everyday comfort food. The waiters might be a bit grumpy, but that's part of the charm.
And then the third one?
The Hüriger. This is a wine tavern. You'll find these on the outskirts of Vienna and in the wine regions.
Is this a full-service restaurant?
Not usually, and that's where people get confused. It's much more informal. You're there to drink the new wine of the season. The food is simple, usually a buffet of spreads, cold meats, cheeses, maybe a few warm dishes. It's very social. You sit at long tables, often with strangers.
Okay, so now that we know where we are sitting, let's look at the menu. We've had our Schnitzel. What is the next must-order dish?
If you want to taste Imperial Vienna, the food of the emperors, you have to order Tafelspitz.
Käsespätzle, that's boiled beef, right. Which I have to be honest, doesn't sound wildly exciting on paper to an American or British ear.
I know, boiled beef sounds like hospital food. But this is where context matters. It's a prime cut of beef, simmered slowly in a broth with root vegetables and marrow bones until it is incredibly tender. It's served with roasted potatoes, creamed spinach, and these amazing sauces, usually an apple horse radish mix and a chive sauce.
So it's elegant comfort food.
Exactly. It's sophisticated but simple. A quick tip though, do not order this if you are in a rush. Tafelspitz is a slow, sit-down ritual.
A Sunday lunch kind of meal?
Totally. You savor the broth first, then the meat. It takes time.
Got it. Now, what if I want something spicy or stewy? You mentioned the Hungarian influence earlier.
Then you were looking for goulash. In Austria, it's a staple. You'll see goulash soup, which is a starter, or the main course beef stew.
Is there a specific version we should look out for?
If you are really hungry, look for fiaker goulash.
Fiaker goulash. That's a fun word to say. What makes that special?
It's the loaded version. It comes with a fried egg, a sausage, and a bread dumpling.
Whoa.
It's named after the carriage drivers in Vienna, the fiaker drivers, because they needed something substantial to keep them going through long shifts in the cold.
That sounds incredible. And you mentioned dumplings. Let's talk about that because I feel like I see the word noodle everywhere on Austrian menus.
You do. Austria is a dumpling superpower. Noodle just means dumpling. You have savory ones made of bread or potato that come as side dishes with your roast pork.
Acting as crazy sponges.
Exactly. Perfect gravy sponges. But you also have sweet ones for dessert.
So the rule is, if you see noodle, get it.
Pretty much. Don't overthink it. If it's on the menu, it's usually good. It's the ultimate comfort food.
Now, let's leave the city for a minute. Say I've been hiking in the Alps or I've just been walking around Salzburg all day in the cold. What is the ultimate mountain comfort food?
Oh, that has to be Kasnocken, or sometimes it's called Käsespätzle.
I've seen photos of this. It looks like mac and cheese, but better.
It's much better. It's small dumpling style, pasta button spätzle, pan-fried with an enormous amount of mountain cheese and topped with crispy fried onions. It is served piping hot in a little iron skillet.
This sounds heavy.
It is delightful mountain fuel, but yes, it is very filling. This is a great dish to share or to eat after you've burned some calories.
So plan accordingly.
Definitely. It will put you to sleep if you eat it for lunch before a museum tour.
Good to know. Now here's one that surprised me. Fried chicken. I don't associate fried chicken with Austria, but it's everywhere.
It's called Backhandel. And it is surprisingly iconic. It's breaded similarly to Schnitzel, but it's chicken pieces.
Bone-in or boneless?
Both. You see both. It's usually served with a warm potato salad. It feels very old school. Yeah, very Gasthaus.
Yeah.
If you want to break from red meat, but still want that crunch, Backhandel is the way to go.
Speaking of red meat alternatives to Schnitzel, there's one more beef dish on our list. Zwiebelrostbraten.
Yes, this is for the true meat lovers. It's roast beef smothered in onions and gravy. It's incredibly savory. If you're at a Gasthaus and want something hearty that isn't deep fried, this is the classic choice.
A hug on a plate?
That's a great way to put it.
I want to pivot something lighter for a second. We talked about how heavy these mains can be. How do Austrians balance this out?
With soup, soup is not an afterthought in Austria, it's a way of life. Almost every traditional meal starts with a clear broth to settle the stomach.
And what's in the broth?
Usually more carbs, but delicious ones. You need to know for Frittaten-soup, that's a clear beef broth with thin strips of savory pancakes floating in it.
Pancake soup.
Essentially, yes. It sounds odd, but the pancakes soak up the savory broth and become almost like noodles. It's salty, savory, and perfect.
And the other one?
The other big one is Grießnoggle soup, which has a fluffy semolina dumpling in it. Ordering a soup as a starter is one of the easiest ways to look like a local.
It shows you aren't just rushing to the main course.
Right. It shows you're settling in.
I love that tip. Now we have to talk about street food because sometimes you don't have time for a sit-down Gasthaus meal. What is the Austrian equivalent of a hot dog stand?
The Würstelstand. These sausage stands are institutions, especially in Vienna. You'll see people in tuxedos coming out of the opera standing next to construction workers, both eating sausages at 2 o'clock a.m. It's a great equalizer.
So what's the order there?
You can get a Bratwurst, obviously, but the pro move is the Käsekräner.
The cheese sausage?
Yes, it's a sausage with little pockets of cheese inside the meat. When they grill it, the cheese melts. It is dangerous, hot, and absolutely delicious.
So be careful when you bite into it.
Oh yeah, the cheese can squirt out. But it's the perfect quick bite between sightseeing stops.
Before we move to dessert, I have to ask about the side dishes. Specifically the potato salad, because it's not what Americans might expect, is it?
No, and this is a crucial distinction. Erdäpfelsalat in Austria contains no mayonnaise. It's dressed with broth, vinegar, oil, and mustard.
And it's often served warm, correct?
Often warm, yes. It's tannier and lighter. It cuts through the grease of a schnitzel perfectly. Once you try the Austrian style, it's honestly hard to go back to the heavy mayo version.
One last savory note. What about the lakes? We mentioned regionality. If I'm in the Salzkammergut near the lakes, am I still eating pork roast?
You can, but you shouldn't. In the lake regions, look for fresh fish. Trout is often served very simply, grilled with potatoes and butter. It's a wonderful lighter alternative to the alpine food, especially in summer.
Okay, I am officially starving, but we haven't even touched the sweet side yet, and Austria is famous for pastries.
It is. But there's a philosophy here. You don't need to eat all of them. You just need to choose wisely.
Let's start with the big name, Apfelstrudel. Is it a tourist cliché?
It is famous for a reason, but quality varies a lot. You want to eat this in a nice coffee house, not a souvenir shop. The key is the pastry. It should be stretched so thin you could read a newspaper through it.
Wow, and then there's the one that people often end up loving even more than Strudel, Kaiserschmarrn.
This is my personal favorite. It's a shredded pancake. Imagine a thick, fluffy pancake torn into bite-sized pieces, caramelized in a pan with butter and sugar.
And served with a fruit compote?
Right? Usually plum or apple.
It sounds like breakfast, but they eat it for dessert.
Or as a main course. In mountain huts, it's perfectly acceptable to order a giant pan of Kaiserschmarrn as your lunch. It's warm, sweet, and incredibly comforting.
Now we have to discuss the Sachertorte, the famous chocolate cake.
The most famous cake in the world, arguably.
Well, we have to be honest here. Is it actually good?
Iconic. Here's the honest truth. It can be a bit dry for modern tastes. It's a dense chocolate sponge with a thin layer of apricot jam and chocolate glaze.
So it's divisive.
Very. Some people find it too dense, but I'd say do it once. Go to a cafe in Vienna, order a slice, have the whipped cream on the side. It's a classic moment worth having.
Just don't be surprised if you end up preferring something else.
Exactly. Don't be surprised if you prefer the Topfenstrudel.
What's that?
It's a strudel filled with sweet quark cheese. It's creamy, tangy, and lighter than it sounds. Or if it's summer, Marlen Knödel, apricot dumplings.
Apricot dumplings, whole apricots.
Whole apricots wrapped in dough and boiled. Those are spectacular.
Okay, we need to wash all this down. Austria has a huge beer culture, obviously, but what else?
Coffee culture is massive. But remember, in Austria, you aren't paying for the caffeine. You're paying for the time.
You're renting their table?
Exactly. You buy a coffee and you can sit there for 3 hours reading a book. Nobody will kick you out.
And for wine?
White wine is the star. Grüner Veltliner is the classic, crisp white grape. But if you want to drink like a real local, especially in summer, order a spritzer.
Just wine and sparkling water.
50-50 mix. It sounds basic, but on a hot day in a Heuriger garden, it is the most refreshing drink on earth. It keeps you hydrated and happy.
And you can enjoy a few of them over a long afternoon. We've covered a lot of food, but I want to make sure our listeners don't end up in a bad restaurant. What are the red flags? How do we avoid the tourist traps?
I have a few rules for this. Rule number 1, be cautious if the menu has photos of every single dish.
The dreaded picture menu.
It's usually a sign they're catering exclusively to tourists. Rule number 2, follow the locals. If a place is packed at 7 p.m. and everyone is speaking German, go in.
That's always a good sign.
Always.
What about location?
Rule number 3, never eat on the main shopping street. Walk 2 blocks away, literally 2 blocks. The prices will drop by 20% and the quality will go up.
And trust the simple places, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A small nondescript guest house with a handwritten daily special on a chalkboard is almost always going to be better than the flashy place with a guy outside trying to pull you in.
So if we had to boil this all down to a cheat sheet for the listener, what's in the
summary?
mountains?
Okay, quick recap. If you're in Vienna, go for the imperial vibe. Tafelspitz goulash and a fancy cafe dessert. You need fuel, Käseknödel and Kaiserschmarrn. If you are in the wine regions, go to a Heuriger, order a cold platter and a spritzer.
And by the lakes.
Eat the local fish.
I love that. It's like a culinary map.
And really, the biggest takeaway is the philosophy. Eat like you travel slowly. Treat lunch as a pause, not a pit stop.
That is great advice. Don't just shovel the food in so you can get to the next museum.
Yeah, exactly. Sit, order a soup, watch the people enjoy the atmosphere. That is where the memories are made.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to book a ticket right now just for the dumplings.
I'm ready for a spritzer and some Schnitzel.
Thank you so much for walking us through this menu.
It was a pleasure.
It's been delicious. Thanks for listening to Travel Austria Quick Tips. Great trips, and see you soon in Austria.